It's happening right now. Do you see anything?
Yes.
Oh, good. That means it's working. You know, we like it to work. I'm going to bring up the stream and make sure we're muted. I think we're muted. It's good. Yeah. Live and stuff.
Fancy.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
are the chatters there?
There's Grinwing and Grumbledore.
Grumbledore's me.
Oh, that's
So-
you. There's one guy.
Nice.
Is that me? Am I the one guy? No. There's 3 people.
Oh, good.
There's 7 viewers though. I guess there's a delay. It's just starting up, so.
Yeah. We want to, you know. And I'm still getting used to, like, where do you find the chat? You know.
Right.
I can customize my channel. I don't even know how to do that. Hey, man,
yeah.
Ryan. Of course, Ryan is there. He was our first listener. S1500 has been listening to the show since episode 1.
Before I was on it.
That's some dedication right there.
Yeah, and Mark, you started in episode 3, essentially, right?
Yeah, and then I never left.
Yeah, we just kind of kept you on. Like, we like this guy.
Yeah. Somebody's
good.
He's logged in twice. He
Yep.
loves it so much.
Good, we love that. Because then it gives us sort of a false number of people that are watching. So everybody log in twice. By the way, I want to go over some things about Twitch. There's been some concerns about, you know, well, Twitch has taken money from me in the past, and I don't want to watch them and whatever. I just want to leave those. I know there's some third-party apps that used to do some subscription nonsense that ended up costing people money, and that's cool. It's not cool, actually. It's totally uncool. But I want to thank everybody for following us. And if you're just listening to us for the first time tonight, you can hit the follow button and you don't get charged anything. Now, if you have a Prime subscription, an Amazon Prime subscription, you can actually subscribe to the show, which contributes money to the show. 50% of it goes to Twitch and 50% of it goes to the show. And so if you don't want to do Patreon or you don't want to do it another way, you can always just subscribe to the show using your Prime account, and that will actually give revenue to the show. I don't know how much,
Right.
like 20 cents or something, or 10 cents. I don't know.
Enough to pay for our antique soup collection.
Exactly. Are you eating antique soup tonight?
Yes, this is circa 1998. It's pretty good.
90. Gross. Are you eating that out of a can from 1998?
No, I put it in a bowl. The can looked terrible. So.
Oh my God. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, it's funny. We got a new guy in there. What? Who are any of you? Sally Struthers will thank you. Oh, that's good. Yeah. We also have Tina Yothers as a listener. You know, she's
Tina Yothers.
oh yeah, she's in here every week. Right, Mark?
You know, when it's a Tina Yothers episode.
You know, it's a great gaming channel when you have somebody eating soup on it. That's when you know you have a great gaming channel. Am I right, Robert?
Yeah, I think you're right. I've only seen it on a couple, so.
Grinwing, Mr. Peabody, S1500, and Jobber, whatever your name is. It's nice to have you on the show.
This is the special Y2K edition of the soup. It's delicious.
Yes. Right. And now we are going to have a little bit of a reveal later, too, because we are having a special episode next week. And I'm going to tell you who the guest is, not now, but in a bit. Also, Brian Armitage, who is one of our co-hosts, is not here. Why? Because he's a doctor by day and he's an arcade collector by night. And when you're a doctor by day, sometimes you have to do things like, I don't know, operate. Right?
Operate?
Yep. So he's like cutting someone up right now.
Nice.
You know what's funny is I positioned the 2D Con logo right below my t-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm
Like
seeing
double.
double. Yeah. It's a little
Cool logo.
confusing.
Who designed that? Is that the traditional? That's a new one, right?
No, it's been around for a few years.
Hmm.
I was just talking to Robert about it. Robert, it's kind of ironic that 2D Con with the 20-sided dice underneath to sort of show the all-encompassing gaming thing did not actually have a convention in 2020.
Yeah, that was I was disappointed. Joe, our director, he's really disappointed. He
Yeah.
designed the logo. He does all of our stuff, and gosh, he was bummed.
Yeah.
It was,
God bless him.
Yeah. Good guy.
he's a great guy.
Yeah,
One of my
he is
favorites.
a great guy, and I've met him a couple times at the various conventions. I'm just I'm looking forward to all this crap going away, and us being able to get together and do arcade stuff again.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was 2019 was a blast,
Yeah,
and thanks to everybody who came out and was a part of it.
yeah,
And hopefully we can just go bigger and bigger, and
yeah.
once things are safe for everybody, I'd like to see us take over that whole floor instead of just one big section of it.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I don't know, Mark. Do you think it's about time?
Is it? Hold on, let me check. Just a second.
All right.
Hey, you know what it is? It
All right.
is.
Let's
Are
do
you gonna
this.
hit a button?
I'm gonna hit a button for the first time.
Nice.
With Stream Deck technology, we can actually hit a button. So let me get this straight. There's no audio.
That's
No,
what they were.
that's
That's what they were saying.
Yeah. I was like,
Well, that's a bummer. Because we just went through the whole intro with no. That's sad.
Right.
Yeah.
This is
And
what
we're
happens
back.
when you don't test what you're doing.
oh,
Yep. We had time to do it, but we didn't do it.
I thought it was.
So it was the silent intro.
Yes. Is that gonna? Don't we have other things?
That
we
well,
can-
that's going to be a problem. But I could just go back. I can just default to what we usually do.
I see.
I mean, I heard it and it sounded great, guys. You're listening out. You're just gonna have to tune in next week to see what it sounds
Exactly.
like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's insert it on the YouTuber. So maybe,
Right.
I don't know.
That's very interesting. Yeah. I mean, we've had sound problems in the past too, but we're kind of the amateur hour here tonight. Because we're working out the bugs. We're just working out the bugs.
Yes.
I mean, I know that means that none of these other clips are going to work.
Maybe.
No, they're not going to work. I know for a fact, and I can't change it right now because if I click on them, they'll attempt to launch and they just won't work.
Well, tell you what. Let's be optimistic, and since they're so short, we'll just see what happens. And then if they come back and there's no audio, we'll just give them a 5-second version of it.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work. You know what I'm gonna do? It's just not gonna work.
Man.
Yeah, it's sad.
We could play him and do the play-by-play for everybody at home.
Well, I can try some trickery to see if I can get it to work, but it's not ideal.
I see.
Yeah, no,
All right.
it's terrible.
Somebody called you a boomer. What?
Yeah, is it a new guy? Yeah.
He said recap the audio board. If you,
Recap the audio board. Oh, yeah, this is clever. All right. Well, anyway, what have you been working on, Mark?
Oh, I have notes about that. Let me look at them. Hello.
Wait, I forgot to do the intro.
Yeah, you haven't even...
because I was so distraught about there not being any sound.
Yeah. So here, like...
Oh, yes. Hello, and thanks for listening in from the Arcadeosphere. This is Season 5, Episode 14 of the Arcade Radio Podcast. Today is Thursday, April 29th, 2021, and the time is now approximately 7:26 p.m. Central. I'm your host, Adam Connery. I'm joined by my co-host, Mark. Just give me something without any sugar in its shields. And Paradise Arcade Shop proprietor and Space 1999 star, Brian Thurston Howell III. And joining us tonight, he's been member at large at Anime Twin Cities based in Coon Rapids, Minnesota. Previously, he was the system administrator at Deluxe Enterprise Operations and now is director of arcade operations for 2D Con, Minnesota's resident gaming convention. He's revealing plans to reopen the convention this August. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Robert Thell.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for having me.
Hey. Oh, we need
That was my info. I creeped on you to get all this data.
It was pretty thorough. Actually, I still do work for Deluxe though.
Excellent.
Still there.
Is that the check company?
Yeah.
They still make checks? Who uses checks anyway?
They do a lot of stuff besides checks, but a lot of businesses still use checks.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of businesses still use fax machines and all sorts of technology that needs to go the way of the dodo. But it pays me, so I can't complain too much.
That's great. That's great. I So
say hi to your mom for me.
Oh geez. Mark, what have you been working on?
Right, so I have three main topics of interest. The first is I've been in the middle of Edit War 2021.
All right.
On Wikipedia, there's a article about the DeLorean time machine.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not supposed to use it to advertise. There's a whole bunch of guys that rent DeLoreans, including myself. So if you were to put your website on there, it's an unfair advantage.
Sure.
And there's this kind of douchey guy who keeps putting his thing in there. So I keep reverting, and so he edits it, and then I undo it, and then he edits it, and I undo it. And so I've been learning my ways around Wikipedia to punish people. And so I'm in the process of several of the levels of punishment. There's the warning punishment and the AA punishment and the RR3 punishment. And then anyway, so hopefully that will all coalesce into a perma-ban of this guy.
Who is perpetrating invalid information?
Advertised using Wikipedia. It's against the rules.
I see.
Right? If I can't do it, you can't do it.
I see.
So that's constantly, like every 15 minutes, I'm like, did he edit it? Because he's making, on Wikipedia, you can make a minor edit and won't tell anybody. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't really, it's kind of dumb. It doesn't know. So if he checks that, I don't find out about it. Anyway, so yeah, that's been fun. On TikTok, I have 43,000 followers, so still doing well there. If anybody wants to join.
I already followed you. You can't make me follow you anymore.
FaceTime Junction? No, it's okay. The other 39,000 or 42,999 people. They're enough. My computer space, which is actually right here to my side, I cleaned the PCBs, took everything out, did some deox at work, and I got it to I could kind of see a screen that resembled the computer space, but couldn't get a sync. And it seems like all the CRTs that I have that are regular old monitors there's no horizontal hold.
Yeah.
Like, what's up with that? They auto sync.
I do not know.
And yeah. So that's been a problem, and I'm thinking about sending off the boards. It's just a 3-stack situation, and I'm just not. I'm like, I'll just figure it out, because I'm kind of busy with the video vendor.
Yeah.
Which is the 1980s. The 1980s VHS rental kiosk that has a green screen, and I don't know. I don't think. Well, I mean, have I even shown pictures of it on the show?
We did that last week.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's keeping me busy. I have so many VHS tapes. It's just keeping me really busy. Mark is being dubbed in Japanese. Is that true? All right.
That's pretty cool.
I'm reading the show notes. I mean the chat. So
you need to read the chat because somebody needs to read the chat.
Oh.
I mean, Robert's paying attention to the chat. He's like, "This is pretty funny, actually." It's like, I mean, what is this? Our third episode on Twitch?
Third episode on Twitch.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, we have some baby steps that we're going through here.
If you're not reading the chat, I mean, how are you going to interact with all these viewers?
I know, really. Exactly. And I've got them all right here. I can see. I hear Time Runner 88 got John Jacobson's computer space. It's interesting. This Jabber, he's new. That guy's new.
I wonder who he is.
Maybe it's John Jacobson, Jingleheimer Schmidt.
I doubt it. He has his own little handle on here.
Does he?
Jabberwogi.
Jabberuga? Jabberuga.
Right
I think he just intentionally made that name so we can't say it.
Right.
Let's call him J-Job. He's now J-Job. We're going to call him J-Job for the rest of the show.
Hey, Adam, what are you working on?
Oh, my God. I'm working on so much. Well, actually, I've put a fair amount of effort into wrangling a guest for the show. His name is Robert Thell. You might have heard of him.
You had to twist my arm real hard to come on. It was,
So Robert and I go way back to 2019. So it's a pleasure to have you on the show tonight. We do have another guest coming up, a secret guest. He's secret. And we're going to reveal him later in the show. But anyway, I've been working on that. And in the Obtainium department, things that I've got, I just bought a Jungle Hunt bezel because my Jungle Hunt has a elevator action bezel on it. Which is cool,
Nice.
right? I mean, elevator action's a great game.
absolutely.
But Jungle Hunt is what's in it. So
Right.
I got the proper plain sad green bezel that they put on after Jungle King, which had Tarzan all over it. I had to remove that for legal reasons. And do you guys remember the show Knight Rider?
Oh, yeah.
I've heard of it.
Yeah. You might even have a car. Mark, do you have a car?
Yeah, it's a 1983 Pontiac Trans Am 383. It's very nice.
Yeah, but it's Kit.
It is Cade, yeah.
And he's got the...
Yep. It kind of sounds like... I mean, it's a little... I don't know. Whoever made that replica, it's like they were like, you know what? I'm going to make this my own and do the sound myself, you know?
Mm.
So it sounds like a guy. But, yeah.
That's too bad. Do you want me to fix that for you?
Yeah, sure.
I would love to do that. Okay, so anyway, you have a kit. Does it have like the whole... Does the kit car have like the whole control panel with the TV screens and stuff?
Yep, two little, like 3-inch or 4-inch flat panels. What's funny is that, it wraps around the driver because back in the 80s, there were, CRTs with glass tubes in them.
Sure.
So there's all this extra room for the tubes, but now I'm like using little tiny flat screens. So when my wife is in the car, she's like, why is this part of the car in my face? And I explain technology.
Now, I have to explain why I brought this up with Jungle Hunt.
Yeah.
Because there is a scene in one of the episodes of Knight Rider where Michael Knight is standing in someone's office and there's 2 arcade games in there. One of them is Jungle Hunt. And he towers so tall. I mean, that guy's super tall.
Right?
He's got to be like 6'2" or something. But, I mean, he is so tall that it makes the Jungle Hunt look like it's a cabaret.
He's hunched over. Maybe the base is missing on it.
No, he's not. He's not. At no point during the scene does he actually go to the arcade game and play it.
Oh,
He's just by it. They put it in the scene to like, hey, we're hip. We're hip to kids, and we have video games in our show.
On that show they had Texas Instruments PCs. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Really?
It was not. My dad worked at Texas Instruments too. So
That's
every time
right.
we saw one, we were like, and
Because who would actually buy one?
Well, I mean, correct. We had all engineering models. And, yeah, it was weird because it wasn't 100% compatible with IBM PCs. So
Sure.
you kind of were like that weird kid that had the strange computer that you couldn't play friends games on.
Yeah. So anyway, I brought that up because he was in, that game was in that scene, and I thought, well, oh my God, Michael Knight's right next to a Jungle Hunt. And I have the multi-kit for that, whatever. So anyway, another bezel that I bought, besides the Jungle Hunt bezel that I needed, was there's a guy that's reproing the Monaco GP Stand Edition, which for all of the arcade collectors, we call them cabarets, but Sega called this the Stand Edition of the Monaco GP. So he already did a run of them that had the instruction card printed on them. And everybody complained. Well, not everybody. A lot of people complained because we already have bezels. We just want to replace them. Mine has cigarette burns all over it. So today I bought a brand new Monaco GP bezel with a spot for the instruction card. So I can just...
Oh, wow.
That's pretty cool.
So it's pretty cool. And it's exciting because I have the side art. I got that from Richie Knuckles a couple years ago or a year ago. And I'm looking forward to putting it on, but I don't want to take that machine apart. I don't know if you ever taken about Monaco GP is like really difficult. The Stand Edition is so compact. When you take it apart, there's a lot of stuff going on in there. But it might give me an opportunity to fix some things and make it better and get better airflow and whatever else. So that's cool. And then I've been doing a few things with Stream Deck and, like I said, special guests later on in the show, blah, blah, blah. So let's move on to Mr. Robert Thell. Hey, welcome to the show again. And I'll probably say it like 18 more times, but you've been working on something.
Yeah, I actually, believe it or not, I got my first cab just this past weekend.
Oh my God.
First one that I've ever purchased on my own.
Oh God.
And it's a import from Japan.
I'm going to put this up on the screen right now.
Like by default they're JVS, and it's got the somebody.
Now, did we lose sound when I switched to that scene?
Correct. It was silent.
Oh, that sucks.
Oh man, so they missed everything I said about that.
Yeah. Well, let me do something here. If we're gonna. Okay.
TikTok.
Everybody, just hang tight for 2 seconds, or not 2 seconds, for a minute. I'm going to correct this.
Saying some stuff.
There you go.
Now, it was actually
Robert.
Really...
Go back to what you were saying about this.
You were saying.
Yep. Let's.
okay.
Reintroduce your machine. So start from the top of it. And so I've got you in here now. We're good to go. Do what you got to do.
So all right. So those candy cabs, they're basically a direct descendant of the cocktail tables from Japan. They still make cocktail tables. The Sega line. It's called the City line, and so you've got like Astro City, Blast City. The one I have is a NewNet City. But people at the Japanese arcade started complaining about overhead lighting reflecting and making it really hard to see the screen. So they started angling the screen up more and more until it became the modern candy cab, where it's just a sit down with the screen right in front of you. The one I have is pretty cool. It's a 29-inch CRT. It's a Toshiba true flat screen. Real nice. It has a little bit of work that needs to be done on it. Monitor could use a recap. It's not terrible yet, but it's something you got to do eventually. I got to work some of the wiring in the control panel, but it's a great project. I'm so excited to bring that up to.
That is a cool machine.
Yeah, it's really cool, and you can swap it out. Swap any kind of board set in there. I've got a Jam-A-Loom, so I can do CPS2 stuff or older. By default, the machine's wired for JVS, so I can do more modern stuff in there, like Sega Naomi stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to start playing with it.
That's very cool. So, ladies and gentlemen, we did some big upgrades to the show this week. So there's some audio issues that we're working through. So I apologize, but we'll fix them as we go. And I think maybe we should just introduce some of our new segments that I've been working on. Hey, Mark, then I can fix the audio while we go, and then we can use them.
All right.
Should I do that?
Yeah.
All right. So for the intro.
Minnesota, this is Arcade Radio.
Yep. So now everybody can hear that, right? So that's good. So we know that everybody can hear that now. And one of the other intros that we've been doing, I'm going to do this one. This is kind of fun.
Oh, you're an inventor.
Yes, I am.
What have you invented?
Okay, so this is going to be Brian's new capture thing. So
I always felt that the true stars at Atari was engineering.
Oh, you're an inventor.
Yes, I am.
What have you invented?
A lot of things.
Like?
Like a lot of things. Like things that you've heard of.
Like?
Well, things that you will have heard of, okay? Patents are pending.
Arcade gadgets with Brian McLeod.
Wow.
Isn't that kind of fun? So
Yeah, that's really cool.
yeah, now I'm going to move on to news, and I gotta click the thing to make.
So it's been elected and now the Arcade News with
Yep. So that's going to be a little bit of delay for them, but essentially that's going to be the new Arcade Radio news segment. So, and then we have a back to the Cade.
with Time Runner.
Why are things so heavy in the future? Is there a problem with the Earth's gravitational pull?
Yep, these were. Again, this is a new edition. Mark has his own little intro here, so that's kind of fun. There you go. Look at you zoom. A little bit of technically difficulties, but hey, we're getting there. So this is what it's gonna look like. Mark, look at that. That's pretty fun. Now we don't lose anything. Mark, Time Runner Shields. Yep. And this Adam, last name here. It does look sort of like a Norwegian name, doesn't it?
Last name here. Last name here.
Last name here.
Needs some umlauts.
Yes.
Yeah, so then we have Robert Thell.
Oh, wow.
Look at that.
That's badass.
You see that? So, yeah, it's kind of fun. So again, we're working out some of the bugs, but this is, the plan is to have this, the show look a little more professional after today.
Halfway there.
Right, exactly. So, and then we can always go back to our original broadcast. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm really sorry for the technical difficulties tonight. Oh my God! Did you guys hear a dog?
Sounded like somebody stepped on it.
I know, it's terrible. I think it's upstairs.
Oh,
Yeah. So normally we'd have the next section. So let's try that out. Oh, that is something new, huh? I'm telling you.
What was that?
I
Sounded
don't.
like a special.
Let's try this. Let's try this again.
I always felt that the true stars at Atari was engineering.
Oh, you're an inventor.
Yes, I am.
What have you invented?
What happened there?
I always felt that the true stars at Atari was engineering.
Oh, you're an inventor.
Yes, I am.
What have you invented?
A lot of things.
Like?
Like a lot of things. Like things that you've heard of.
Like?
Well, things that you will have heard of, okay? Patents are pending.
Arcade gadgets with Brian the Clown.
So I gotta say, does anybody have any of the gadgets that he might have been working on? Because I don't know.
I
don't. Oh.
I don't know if he worked on it, but I did recently purchase some joystick components.
Oh, let's talk about that.
Yeah, I got the Auto V3. It's for my fight stick. I've got a Kanba fight stick that I'm using, and it's really cool. It's all it's Kevlar rather than the general plastic, and there's some Shin-Etsu grease in there just to keep things going, and it's kind of hard to, if you're not into playing specifically Tekken, which is the game I bought it for.
Sure.
It's a snap-in part that basically lets you recreate the feel of a Korean-style arcade stick. They use rubber grommets that are a little bit different from the way the Japanese use. They use more of a spring system to return the joystick to center. And these rubber grommets, they're better for 3D fighters because you're not doing a whole lot of compound motions like your standard Street Fighter quarter circle motions.
Sure.
Instead, you're usually double tapping in certain directions. And so it's a lot more accurate for single directions, and it's a lot faster to return to normal.
Now,
like just return to center.
Does it feel like more like a Leaf joystick in that respect?
I don't want to say yes because it's
different.
It's different. It's kind of its own little beast.
Yeah. It's, it is what it is.
Ah, you're right. The V2 and the V5, and the V5 is the one I have.
Okay.
That's my dyslexia. The V2 is the one for the standard Japanese style controls, and the
Sweet.
V5 is the Korean style. So that's the cool little gadget I purchased.
Wow. So that's
Thanks for the save on that, Necros.
Yeah, that's sweet. Necros, welcome to the chat too, because he's been with us for a long time, and that's great that we have some fighting guys in the chat too, because that's a big part of what 2DCon does. In fact, why don't we interject just a little bit of what the arcade is like at 2DCon? Why don't you just give us a little bit of rundown on that?
Oh man, so Brian, with his help in 2019, the arcade at 2DCon was, I want to go out and say, the biggest arcade that's ever existed in one spot in the state of Minnesota ever.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, we had about 150 cabinets across multiple genres. We had classics, we had more modern stuff, we had fighting games, we had rhythm games, driving games, you name it.
Yeah,
we had it, and it was just great. It was just everything you could ever want in an arcade. You've got the noise in the background, people standing around playing games. It was just a great time. And
sure.
All of our guests, they did a lot to make it better. We did for the first time ever a bring your own arcade thing for 2DCon, where our guests could sign up to bring their own cabinets, and we provided them with VIP badges. We did have a game called the Dumpster Fire. It was a video pinball. It was really cool.
Christopher Graham is
had our
usually
guests.
in our chat, actually, and I don't know if he's in here tonight, but
He is.
yeah, he's very proud of that Dumpster Fire.
Yeah, it's a really cool machine. So yeah, we had probably, I want to say, including the Dumpster Fire, we had about 15 pinball machines, which was a first for 2DCon. I think the most we've ever had at one time is 2 prior to that.
Yeah.
And it's all of our guests who make that kind of thing happen. We we can't say thank you enough to everybody who signs up to bring a cab. And ideally, we just want to position ourselves to be like Midwest Game Classic, but a heck of a lot closer.
Sure.
You don't have to drive your cabs halfway across Wisconsin.
And you'll also have that drive. There is a lot of people in surrounding communities that can't make it, that could make it to the Minneapolis location. So that's cool too. So, but yeah, so you have the classics, you have the pinball, but you also have like rhythm games and candy cabs. So tell us a little about that.
So the candy cabs were, we're trying to expand on that. Those were all provided by Brian last year,
2019. Yeah.
Yeah, 2020. We can just forget that
doesn't exist.
Exactly.
So, we had a lot of great stuff there. We had Soul Calibur 2, which is one of my all-time favorite fighting games. We had some shmups there. I want to say Raiden Fighters was what was there. We had Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and we did just a fantastic low-tier tournament for Marvel vs. Capcom. That was just, for me, I love watching that game as much as I love playing it. So I ran that tournament, and it was just a blast. And then we had our huge rhythm game section, and this is run by a company called Snow Phoenix, a bunch of ladies out of Pennsylvania, and they bring their cabinets to cons all over the country. They've got just a warehouse full of rhythm games, and they're just the greatest ladies you could ever hope to meet. One of them was actually in town last weekend. We got to say hi, and she delivered my cab to me.
Yeah,
she was the one who imported it, and it's just a blast. It's great, and if you haven't checked it out, I highly suggest it. You can go to 2dcon.net and you'll be able to see some of the pictures. Otherwise, on Facebook, the 2dcon group on Facebook has a ton of pictures of the arcade.
Sure,
you could go and check it out.
Sweet. That is awesome. So we're gonna get more to that in a little bit, but that's kind of what we've been working on. And poor Brian is just not here. He must still be chopping away at somebody's, sternum or whatever.
His limbs.
Taking off an ankle.
Let him touch the sternum. I have to think about that.
I don't know, but what's funny is I don't know what he just said he had a case, and yeah.
A criminal case? I don't know.
That's
what the kids say now. If you're doing something that's illegal, they tell you, "Hey, you're gonna catch a case." That's what
catch a case
the
of
new
what?
Phrase. Yeah. So next time you see somebody do something wrong, roll down your window and yell, "Hey, you're gonna catch a case!" And they'll be like, "Oh no."
I feel like shit's just being made up now because kids don't have anything good to say.
No, they do this all the time. That's how.
Did we do that?
We did, yeah.
With radical, gnarly.
I still say radical all the time.
Me too. And one of my friends used to say super badass, so I still say that once in a while.
That's a good one.
Super badass. You got to add super to it. Badass is okay, but super badass. I mean, that's.
In the 80s, my nickname was Skid Mark. But, my name's Mark. But at the time, that whole, what skid mark means now was not like a thing because I would do donuts in my Toyota Corolla. Anyway, so that's unfortunate.
That is unfortunate.
Yes.
That's hilarious. I love it.
That's amazing.
I think we should move on to the next. So that worked now. We had that segment worked, right?
Yeah, I heard it.
Okay, let's try this next one.
Good evening.
arcade news, arcades, pinball, industry alumni, arcade openings, selecting celebrities, world record holders, operators, coin-out, conventions, the Arcade News.
We interrupt the ventilated
And now,
the Arcade News with
Yeah, so from Engadget.com, Mr. Arcade's latest microplayer is Street Fighter II Champion Edition Replica. So these days, you can easily relive the classic games by purchasing them on digital stores, snapping up remasters, or subscribing to a dedicated gaming service like Nintendo's Switch Online. But the trend of creating mini replicas of retro machines takes our penchant for nostalgia just a little bit further, right? So that's where My Arcade comes in.
Your arcade?
My Arcade.
Your arcade?
My Arcade. So the company's microplayer. I don't know. Well, at least it's not iArcade, right? So the company's microplayer arcade is funnels the golden days of coin-up gaming into a tiny, affordable package designed to appeal to old. Did they just say old? I mean, like, I want to quit reading right now. I mean, I'm not old. I'm darn near 50, but I'm not old.
Non-young?
I'm non-young, and young gamers alike. It's a growing lineup of officially licensed retro releases. Already includes Contra, Pac-Man, Space Invaders, Galaga, Bubble Bobble, among other. Bubble Bobble. I kind of like that game.
That's a great one.
I think it's a fun game. So now it's teaming up with Capcom on a microplayer of iconic beat-em-up Street Fighter II Championship Edition.
That game has one of the best attract modes of like fighting games ever, in my opinion. I could let that just sit on my desk and play constantly. Yeah, the one punch.
Right.
Oh, so good.
So like, ran out of budget for more animation, so that's it. But good music.
So, from PR Newswire, Minnesota Arcades and Amusements Association sues the state of Minnesota. And I wish Brian was here for this, because this is actually important to the state and to arcade operators all around. So, they're actually the Minnesota Operators and Music Amusement Association. Did you actually knew this existed, MoMA? Because there was MoMA auctions. I didn't know that they were a thing. So they're actually suing the state of, they're suing. So which they provide entertainment to thousands of bars and restaurants in Minnesota, along with several large restaurants in the entertainment centers have filed a lawsuit today against them. This is one thing that doesn't happen on WCCO. Like, the guy doesn't just stop himself and talk about how crappy he delivers stuff from week to week. He just does it. And if he screws up, he just keeps going.
Which is the WCCO guy? The guy who's always getting his hair redone?
I don't know. I don't know.
I see.
Anyway, there's some crap going on with this MoMA organization. And they filed a lawsuit today against this Minnesota Governor Office, along with the Minnesota Departments of Health, Labor, and Industry, and Employment and Economic Development, because why not just hit them all, right? So for enacting unconstitutional restrictions due to COVID-19, including curfew, that are causing significant financial losses to the damages in bars, restaurants, and associate. You know what? I don't like this article, Mark.
I never read it. I just was like, "Hey, this looks topical."
It is topical.
And by the way, this is I mean, it's a news release
that
MoMA put out. It's not. It has not been molded by any regular television station or anything, where they sort of pick their fight as far as how they're gonna deliver it. But it is a little harsh. But
well, I don't. I guess I don't really know how to take it, because with COVID, with trying to stop COVID, you have a responsibility to try to save people's lives, right? So you have to follow protocols. That's all. I mean, that's all there is to it, really. And it's not political. It's just about freaking stopping the virus. Other countries have done it. Some countries haven't. Look at India. Boom, 1 billion people. There's all kinds of problems. And the United States has had some trouble we've not been able to stop it. So this is, I can appreciate that they're hurting. I really can. But there's, here's Starcade, and dude, Robert Thell, tell us, are you a do you go to Starcade?
Yeah, I do. I try to go there, once a week or once every 2 weeks if I'm really busy on weekends. But it's great. It's it's got everything you could ever want there, and
sure,
they keep it clean. People spread out. We're not standing on top of each other, but we're everybody's wearing masks. Everybody's doing their part.
Yeah,
and it can be done.
So there's like hand sanitizer around and things.
Yep. Hand sanitizer. Gosh, I can't comment 100% on what their COVID protocols are.
Sure.
I don't work there, but they show it can be done. You can run that sort of thing. In the times we are in right now.
Right. And it's interesting that the one person that could tell us is not fucking here right now. So, and I don't get, this is one of the shows where we, and God bless our listeners. They've stuck with us through all the technical difficulties and like hosts gone missing. But do you remember when we used to call Dan Reed up? That was hilarious.
Oh, that was fun.
I kind of want to call him right now. We should try calling him.
Is he still living in?
Oh yeah, yeah. He hasn't moved. He's got the same phone number. You got his number?
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, hold on. Nobody's gonna see this. Are they gonna hear it though?
Well, I could call him on the show line.
Yeah.
I don't know the number, but if you've got it, you could announce it to all the listeners, and everybody could prank call him. Anyway, we're getting off track.
Oh my god.
Everybody call Dan Reed. So, but yeah, I miss that guy. I wonder how he's doing. I hope he's doing okay after all this COVID stuff. We successfully derailed that news article, by the way. Yeah.
Hey, I didn't know it was going to go south into sort of like a treacherous pseudo-conservative area, but
you know what? And I don't know if it's conservative. I just think that I know that people are frustrated that they can't run their businesses, whether they're conservative or not. But the point is it's not the state's fault. They're trying to follow federal guidelines. So you're going to take it up to the Supreme Court, then go ahead. I don't care.
I guess I don't see what's so controversial about preferring not getting sick to playing around a big buck hunter. That's where I come in.
Well, yeah, exactly. So is it worth getting terminally ill to shoot a deer? I don't know.
Yep.
Right. Well, I think that, and I don't think this is in this article, but I do know that there are people on committees that are saying, hey, the bars said if we can stay open and we only allow vaccinated people in, how about that? And then the state's like, no.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Just because, like, how are you going to prove that? And then you get into questions of, like, can you ask that? Is that somehow we want to quote unquote discriminate? I don't know. It's such a hard thing. It's such a hard thing.
Here's the thing: we've never dealt with a pandemic with a deadly virus killing people all the time, right? There's over 500,000 Americans dead, right? So what do you do? What do you do? And Minnesota is actually, if you look at the map of COVID, we're pretty good. We're not like the worst, but we're not like the least.
Right.
But then there's the whole police situation, which we talked about last week. We're just not going to talk about it right now. But anyway.
No. Not again.
No, not again. So that's the news. Boy, this show gets so heavy-handed sometimes. And it's about arcades. It's about arcades right now. Well,
yeah. Roundabout way we're talking about it.
All right, let's try about this.
Okay.
Back in '82, I used to be able to throw a pigskin quarter mile.
Back to the Cade with
Why are things so heavy in the future? Is there a problem with the Earth's gravitational pull?
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Back to the Cade. The end. Anyway. So in my segment, I give you a little bit of history, maybe some strange things that you haven't heard of. And so, our Did You Know for tonight is, did you know the RCA Studio 2 was a home video game console made by RCA that debuted in January 1977? Anybody?
I actually knew that.
You did?
Yep.
Yeah, the graphics of the Studio 2, by the way, there was a Studio 1 as well. But they were black and white, and I think they sort of resembled the earlier Pong consoles. I think the resolution was 60 by 40 or something.
Sure.
So super blocky. It did not have a joystick or similar game controllers, but there were two 10-button keypads that were on the console itself. So you had to like buddy up with your friend and then touch the same thing that you're both touching the same console. It's kind of weird, right? The console was capable of making simple beep sounds, not your TV, the console. They didn't even bother to pipe it in. Yes. And they could the sounds could be changed in variations in tone and length, and that was about it. It included 5 built-in games, and needless to say, it was not successful. Just before this, Fairchild had released the Channel F, and pretty much made this thing obsolete at launch. And then not too long after this was put out, the Atari 2600 came out, which was obviously superior to both. And they tried to struggle through Christmas of 1977, which I think at the time wasn't Star Wars coming out. I mean, there was a lot of distractions. They discontinued the Studio 2 after a few months, and for some crazy reason, I don't know who at RCA was like, "Hey, I got this great idea, Studio 3." And they did it, and it also failed. It was more like a computer. Like, it's a computer. It's not just a game. It's a computer too. But the same 60 by 40 blocky graphics. They're like, it's okay. You can kind of, put 2 sentences on the screen and then, collate.
Did you have to type it in with the 10
It actually had. Oh, you know what? I don't recall if that one had a keyboard or not. I think it had the keypad as well. Maybe they used T9. Like maybe that's when T9 came into being existing.
Man.
And so after that failed, there was another guy, and he goes, "Hey, I got this great idea, the Studio 4." And then they shot him, and they did not do that. Yeah, that didn't happen. Although somehow somebody found the concept code for it and emulated it. And so somewhere online, there's a version of it that you can emulate the Studio 4. There's no games for it. And the only thing that you can kind of see is the error screen where, there's no cartridge in it. So it just has this garbage. And they're like, "Yeah, look what I did." And I'm like, I can't believe somebody in, recent times decided that they wanted to see what that's like.
It tickles me that there is at least one person alive who would do that. I mean, there's no reason anybody ever needs to see that, but somebody did it.
I just feel like somebody out
Sorry.
Right. Same 60 by 40 graphics, but at this point they had color, so you could see them in beautiful red and yellow and blue.
Amazing.
That's pretty cool.
That moves me on here to the second part of my segment where I ask Adam, what's in the juke?
What's in the juke?
Hey everybody, welcome to the Season 5 edition of What's in the Juke? It's the game within a game within a podcast. Today we'll be playing 80s movie audio clips yet again. You can guess that movie title, you will receive...
Oh, I'm having fun.
Yeah! If you recognize the actor or the character he played, you will also receive...
Full point.
Oh, no.
Half point.
Yes. Damn it, Adam. Yes, both the movie and the actor. And
Full
then
point.
Yeah. You don't know either, please fight it out amongst yourselves.
Hey, you! Get your damn hands off her!
Oh, there's the first one. Now that the fighting is over, let's begin.
Begin.
Okay.
Oh,
Why don't you play that one more time?
Begin.
Okay. Did you get it?
Begin? Are we ready for the first clip?
Yes. Yeah.
All right, here comes your first clip.
Can't believe my grandmother actually felt me up.
Yes, this is a mainstream movie. Not advertised to children.
That movie was rated
80s.
PG, actually.
PG, yes.
Which is funny because there's boobs in it.
Oh man, what?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, in the shower, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, how could you forget?
Can't believe my grandmother actually felt me up.
How are we doing in the chat, by the way?
I'm gonna say that it looks like S1500. Ryan got it.
Okay.
I see 16 candles from him first in the list, and wait, 16 candles, right? Yes.
16 candles.
And
yeah.
then it looks like Molly Ringwald, Grinwing 20.
Oh, excellent. Yeah. Well, you know.
It's a tie. It's a tied game.
Well, it's good. I mean, you should have some sort of, tied game at some point, right?
Usually it always is tied on the first one, but okay. That's good.
Yeah.
Unless somebody gets both. But now, there's 13 of these here. You don't have to do all of these.
There's a lot of them.
You can skip past these if you want. Or you can just pick one and then we'll just play the other three for fun. Play your favorite.
All right, here we go. Here comes your next track. This is What's in the Juke 2021 edition, track 2.
Joey, you like movies about gladiators?
In fact, we should probably just play the next few.
Sure, why not?
Joey, you ever hang around the gymnasium? You ever been in a cockpit before?
No, sir, I've never been up in a plane before.
You ever seen a grown man naked? Joey, have you ever been in a Turkish prison?
We'll accept any answer for any of those 4 clips. And just for fun, we're going to play them all again.
Joey,
oh, no.
You like movies about gladiators? You ever been in a cockpit before?
No, sir, I've never been up in a plane before.
You ever seen a grown man naked? Joey, you ever hang around the gymnasium? Joey, have you ever been in a Turkish prison?
I just love all those quotes. How are we doing in the chat?
Casey Agent X got Airplane.
Oh, good.
And Whiskey Flipper got Peter Graves.
Nice. Peter Graves. Now, I got a story about Peter Graves. It's really brief. I worked for a company called Lutheran Brotherhood back in the day. They were a financial institution geared towards Lutherans, it turns out. And they merged with another organization called Aid Association for Lutherans out of Wisconsin. And when the two became one, they invented this new company called Thrivent. Somebody at the top of the food chain knew Peter Graves. So Peter Graves did the merger video for the company. And at our all-hands meeting of like 400 people, not 400 people, but there was, at our all-hands meeting for the two companies, way more than 400 people, Peter Graves did the whole thing. It was hilarious. I'm like, that's Mission Impossible. So, anyway, it was really cool. All right, you guys ready for the next clip?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
That's the best clip from that movie ever. Hands down.
I like that his voice cracks. Like, was that intentional? I think so. The Academy Award goes to...
Also,
no.
It reminds me, I know interestingly enough, there is a pinball machine based on this actor.
Right.
Made by one guy who happened to also be the guy that named the Midwest Gaming Classic.
Really?
Yeah. So
do we know that? Is this the same?
So if somebody can get that answer, we'll give them 2 points.
Right. So Casey...
We already got a correct answer in chat.
Yeah. Who was it?
Agent X, Casey, got Aliens. That was correct. And Whiskey Flipper got the character's name Hudson. But the actor,
is Bill Paxton.
Bill Paxton, right.
Okay, but I was going to give 2 points if anybody knew who created the pinball machine for Bill Paxton.
Oh. Let's see.
Does anybody know? Pinball.
Chuck Emery?
Nope.
Ben Heck?
Ben Heck is correct.
Oh my God!
Really?
So somebody got 2 points for that. He also named the Midwest Gaming Classic. So they had a contest, and it was originally like his entry was called. We should call it the Midwest Classic.
Huh.
And so they added gaming to that later on, but that is a fact. We've talked about it on the show before, actually. So congratulations, whoever got Ben Heck. Also,
Brian.
Sweet, good job. All right, here comes your next clip.
7 years of college down the drain.
That's gonna be a tough one, I think.
7 years of college down the drain.
I love these clips. This is one of my favorite parts of the show. This one doesn't make me laugh as hard as, some of the other ones.
Man, Casey is killing it. He got Animal House.
Nice.
And
well done.
Bluto Blutarski, yes. Casey as well.
Oh, fantastic. That is fantastic. So there's another clip from 16 Candles I'd like to play.
Okay.
All right.
Oh no.
That
Is that really from 16 Candles?
No,
or is
it's
that just
not.
a regular gong plate? Okay.
It's just kind of a gong, But I was kind of thinking of Long Duck Dong, Yeah. I don't know.
Now, this next one's going to be for the special people out there that really pay attention.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious shit.
No.
That's not it?
That's not it. No. Isn't this how the show starts? I mean, come on.
I think it's a good quote.
It is, yes.
We'll just give whoever gets it.
Oh, that reminds me. Hold on, let me show you something.
Okay, all right. The whole thing's off the rails now.
Right. So I just recently had my DeLorean remote control redone so that it's 100% screen accurate, and it is insane. But I don't have 4 9-volt batteries to make it turn on, so you'll have to come back next week to check that.
Are you telling me that it needs 4 9-volt batteries?
Well, it did in the movies too.
Yeah. 2 go up here, and then 2 go down here.
Holy crap!
Yeah, it is intense. I had like a bad edition of this, but a guy had made it in 1998, who the builder that does this, he's like, oh, that guy's legendary. He was able to do that stuff in the 90s and stuff. If you send me that, I will convert you and give you like a 75% discount or whatever. And I was like,
kidding me?
That sounds great. Keep the spare parts, dude, because I was just going to throw them on the ground.
That's awesome.
Yeah, when people ask me what this is and they don't know what about Back to the Future, I go, this is the remote control, so when your dog is in the car, you can drive him around.
Oh, that's... Yeah.
It's amazing to me they were able to time travel on 4 9-volt batteries.
Correct.
Right.
Well, I mean, it's really just sliding through a wormhole. You have to be doing at least 88 miles an hour to slide through that wormhole and not get your car chopped in half. The whole thing about it.
All right, so back to what's in the Juke. We had Aliens. That's Hudson. Bill Paxton. Game Over, Man. Game Over. And Animal. Animal House. And this next track is from another John Hughes flick. Here we go.
Oh.
What's that?
Sushi.
Sushi?
Rice, raw fish, and seaweed.
You won't accept a guy's tongue in your mouth and you're going to eat that?
See, it starts off where you're thinking, oh, it's like, about different kinds of food. But then that happens. So.
Yeah. I haven't watched this movie in a long time. I think it's about time I refreshed. I was thinking today, too, like, I don't know what the deal was, but in the 2000s, it was like I was trying to collect every movie that everybody would ever want to watch to come to my house. COVID has kind of changed all of that. Like, I don't want collections of any movies in my house anymore.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on that?
Well, I don't.
Now, here's the funny thing. I have other things. Exactly. So tell me, we were going to discuss this a little bit. How many VHSs have you received since you've got the video vendor going?
So fans on TikTok have sent about, I would say 35, but I did buy 400 of them the other day, just so that I would have a round, amount.
Right. Because
people are sending them in.
That's
if you
crazy.
want TikTok, Spacetime Junction, send me your unwanted VHS tribe.
Yeah, no, totally. All right, so here comes your next track.
Hey, you! Get your damn hands off her!
That's a great clip. I'm gonna keep these clips. They're just fantastic. It's a great clip. In fact, I have this clip in here somewhere already. Hey, you! Get your damn hands off her.
By the way, Mr. Peabody and Casey split the points for that last one.
Okay, great. Okay, here comes your. You're talking about the Back to the Future quote.
Correct. So here it looks like Mr. Peabody got Back to the Future, and Crispin Glover, Whiskey Flipper. There we go.
George
McFly.
Does anybody know the actor?
Yeah, Crispin Glover.
Crispin Glover. There you go.
Right.
Here comes your next track.
You're lean and you're mean and you're not too far between either, I bet, are you, huh?
It's funny because we've had this movie on at least the last 2 times. It's just
you're lean and you're mean and you're not too far between either, I bet, are you, huh?
Oh God, I love this actor.
Casey got Caddyshack.
Good.
And hold on, I accidentally gave him negative points. And Joe Drosten with Bill Murray. Good job,
Excellent.
Joe Drosten.
Where do you think you're going to put a tree that big? Bend over and I'll show you.
2 actors in that one.
Yeah.
Where do you think you're going to put a tree that big? Bend over and I'll show you.
I've actually never seen this film.
Oh, it's very good.
I've never seen Vacation either.
What?
Yeah.
What?
I've actually never seen any of the Vacation films.
Looks like Casey is killing it.
Nice.
Disappointing.
Good. All right. So who got that? We got Christmas Vacation.
Clark Griswold.
Okay, good. Or we would accept actors' names, right? Also.
Chevy Chase.
Chevy. Okay, here comes one of my favorite movies of all time.
Is this a kissing book?
Just a hint, that's not from The Wizard.
No.
Is this a kissing book?
Which
I should hope so.
I have not seen all of The Wizard. I know how the plot goes. I know most of the characters, but I've not seen all of it.
Something always like my doorbell rings or there's something cool outside,
Mm-hmm.
and then I never get to finish.
No, I know. It's terrible. All right.
I haven't seen it in probably 20 years, but I can't imagine that movie has aged well.
I actually bought it on Vudu because it was $3, and so now I own it. So I'm gonna watch it. All right, here comes your last track.
You have the ring, and I see your Schwartz is as big as mine. You have the ring, and I see your Schwartz is as big as mine.
That's a good guy.
That is good stuff. That is good stuff.
Casey got Spaceballs and Procville, or maybe Proc Florida. I don't know. He got Rick Moranis. It's awesome.
Yeah, I haven't checked the voicemail, but I'm pretty sure it's empty. Oh, it looks empty to me.
So as a result of this, what's in the Juke session? Casey came in first place with 4.5 points.
Nice.
Whiskey Flipper and Brian tied for second, 2.5 points.
All right.
And it looks like Mr. Peabody and Pro.
All right.
Third place.
Excellent.
To our guest. See what was getting unruly about this.
Oh, we should do a guest interview or something.
Okay, let's make the intro thing.
All right. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show, Robert Thell.
I'm glad you played my theme song. That was real good.
Well, welcome back. You know, I told you we're gonna say welcome like 800 times. So, why don't we talk about the possibility of 2D-Con coming around in August?
Yes, that is one of the main reasons I'm here. We are moving.
Just ignore that.
Okay, we're moving forward with 2D-Con for 2021. We're the same weekend as the first weekend of the state fair. That's August 27th. And if they're going to be doing the state fair, we are going to be doing 2D-Con. So, August 27th through the 29th, Minnesota's largest gaming convention, and registration is now open. If you haven't registered and you want to register, you can do it right now and save yourself $5. It's $35 until May 1st. And
that's not much, actually. That's pretty inexpensive for a gaming convention.
Yeah, and that gets you the whole weekend, all the festivities, the arcade, all the other events we do, tabletop gaming. We usually have a concert. We've got YouTube karaoke, which is a sleeper hit. Like, you wouldn't think it would be great, but it is amazing. And there's usually a couple movies showed. We get the rights to show some video game themed movies. Scott Pilgrim versus the World is a big hit at this one. So yeah, there's a lot to do. We also have this was new for 2019, and we're bringing it back. Our VIP badges. And the VIP, this is the same thing you'd get if you were to bring one of your games. You get a VIP badge. You get some sweet 2D-Con swag. We last year we had these really cool pins that were all enameled and really neat. An exclusive VIP T-shirt, limited edition badges. Access to the VIP line at registration, and we do a VIP party, and it's just for the people who have these VIP badges. Last year we did it at the con. This year we're actually going off-site, and we are working with Starcade. So we will be doing the VIP party at Starcade. If you've never been there, that's your chance to get out there and have it be included in the price of your weekend. And you get our eternal gratitude. That's a big one.
So you're talking about doing the VIG. Is it VIG or VIP?
Well, it's the VIG, very important gamer.
Okay, so you're going to do VIG party at Starcade, which is Roseville.
Yep. It's just right up the street. We'll have transportation options.
All good. So if you have been consuming, you don't have to drive.
That's correct. And then there will be chances for consuming when you're on site too. We've talked to a couple of the bars and restaurants real close, and we've got some deals in the works for some cheaper drinks, and it's just going to be a really good time.
Nice.
So if you haven't been, this might be your excuse. And if you want to get in on the free VIP badge by bringing your game to 2D-Con, you can check out the 2dcon.net website, and there will be a little drop-down menu where you can select arcade, and there's a form you can fill it out right there if you're interested. We do one badge per game, and we're really looking for pinball. So if you've got a pinball table you want to bring, we are excited to have you. Although you don't have to bring pinball, you'll still get all the goodness, but we'll be really happy and bend over backwards if you're bringing pinball.
Sure.
So.
Now, in 2019, you offered certain benefits to people that would bring like pinball machines or like arcade games. Are you doing the same type of thing?
We are. For pinball, you get some 2D-Con cash, which is you can use it to spend at the at 2D-Con in our merch room. it's just our little way of saying thank you for helping to put on a much requested portion of 2DCon. It's just getting those pinball machines in isn't easy, and we just want to say thank you to anybody who is willing to do that for us.
Sure. Have you any idea what the t-shirts are going to look like for VIG?
I don't.
Are they black? Are they white?
I don't even know that. I don't find out usually until the con itself what the t-shirts are going to look like. It's a big surprise for me.
Now, VIG guys did not get exclusive t-shirts last time, right?
No, I think they did. I'm pretty sure they did. If not, then...
Because I only got this one.
Huh.
Is this what the VIG was last year? Or 2019?
That might have been.
Maybe that's it. Maybe this is what I got. Because I brought Millipede.
You did, and it was
out of the great... 80 games that were there. I brought Millipede, whatever it was. Like, okay, good job, Adam. You brought 1% of the games. Nice work.
We're not gonna give anybody any guff for bringing whatever game they.
When actually, I brought 2 games. I also brought Pac-Man, signed by Billy Mitchell.
And I played that Pac-Man quite a bit. That's one of my favorites.
I took video of people playing games in the classic arcade, and my Pac-Man machine was legitimately the busiest machine on the floor. And I think it's just because Pac-Man's so approachable and recognizable. Because there were a lot of other fun games that I think that were more important to me to play, because I have Pac-Man obviously, but that was really fun to see. All ages, all genders, just everybody having a great time on Pac-Man.
Yeah. I'm so excited that we'll be doing this in 2021. Capture the feel that we had. It was a great time. Just getting to go to an arcade of that size and just open the door and be overwhelmed by how many machines there actually were. It was magical.
Yeah. Say, Mark, were you going to come up for this thing or what?
Well, I haven't seen my in-laws in 2 years. It's been pretty nice, actually. And so, I guess I could come up there. Is it October, did you say?
August.
No.
It's right around our birthday. It's August 28th.
Yep, 27th through the 29th is the date.
I'm in England, in London on August 20th, so we'll have to see when our return flight is. Back to the Future, the musical, is debuting on the West End in London, and they make me.
That sounds fun, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember last year, or in February, I think it was. I was in Manchester
just before everybody got locked down.
Correct. Yeah, we were at the airport going, this China thing.
Yeah, little did we know.
Really they were like, "Hey, you been to China?" I was like, "No," and they're like, "All right, get in the plane, whatever."
That was a fun show, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't remember it. It was in 4 a.m. or something. Not difference, but look that up.
Well, speaking of COVID, why don't you talk to us a little bit more about logistics for the show?
Oh yeah, so it's a big concern of ours. Obviously we're going to have to adhere to any local and state regulations that they have, but we're taking some steps on our own. We're doing things. Social distancing is going to be key on our plates. We're trying to figure out how we do an arcade and keep everybody socially distant. And with that, we've put out a lot of feelers to other places in the community. Up Down, for example. Starcade is a pretty good example of how you can do an arcade and still maintain protocols. So we're going to have things, we're going to have cleaning supplies, we're going to have hand sanitizer.
Now,
no food or
quick question for
allowed.
You. Certain cleaning supplies are not really great for machines. So how are you going to handle that?
Well, we have Simple Green is a
does that kill bacteria though? What does that do?
They have one that does it.
Okay. Yeah. Without killing people?
Yep. And, CDC guidelines are going to play a lot into that, too. I mean, CDC
Sure.
did come out a few weeks ago and said that, wiping down things every 20 minutes, a lot of that is just theater at this point. But we're still going to have the option for people who want to do it and, wipe down a machine before they play. We're going to have that for them. A lot of hand sanitizer, and we're just going to do the best we can to make it safe and happy and just a good time. I know that all of the staff is chomping at the bit. If they haven't gotten vaccinated yet, they're going to be. And, we're encouraging anybody who attends to, please go out and get your vaccinations. If you want help, reach out to us. We've got people at 2DCon who've made it their mission to get as many people vaccinated as they possibly can, and we're more than willing to help out with that.
Love
just
it.
Reach out on the Facebook group.
Love it. By the way, I'm fully vaccinated, and as of tomorrow, I am quote unquote immune until the next booster.
Right. 2 weeks.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah, I got that last week too.
Yeah, so that's sweet.
So I don't think, the question was asked if we'll be having vaccinations at the show. I think that kind of isn't something that would happen just because you need 2 doses, unless you're taking the Johnson & Johnson one, and you still need a time.
You need still 2 weeks of gestation to make it be immune or whatever.
That said, that doesn't mean that we're not looking at, or we don't have the ability to, see what we can come up with to do maybe a vaccination clinic. I know that there's a lot of other conventions in the country who have made it a point to actually offer those kind of things. There's anime cons out there who have put together vaccination clinics, and then when people come in, that's a chance to get them registered as well.
Now I don't.
We'll see where the future goes, because there's a lot of opportunities out there
for sure. And I totally think that vaccination is a great idea. I think it's a terrible idea at the convention, but if you need to get it somewhere, maybe it's offered as a clinic. That's a great idea. But what I would say is, or what I would like to ask is, do you have an idea, or is there going to be like reduced hotel reservations? Like, what are we looking at to try to keep the crowds lower?
Right now, we do have an attendance cap. I don't know if I'm allowed to say right now what the attendance cap is.
Yeah.
But there are guidelines in place right now that the hotel is implementing, and we will be sticking to them. There's other events at that hotel before August. I know there's one coming up in a couple weeks. And, we're going to be watching them, and that's kind of going to be a barometer as to, what we can expect moving forward. And we're going to plan for the worst case scenario and hope for the best, hopefully by the time we get to August, the state will say you can have as many people as you want. But for now, we're just operating under the assumption that there will be an attendance cap. So if you want to go, we highly, highly suggest you register, go to the site, get registered, secure your place, and be a part of the fun.
One of the other questions in the chat was, is it the same location?
Right.
Yes, it's going to be at the Hyatt. It's same location as 2019, so that's our new home going forward. I don't foresee that changing anytime in the near future, but it's a great location, just right downtown Minneapolis.
Yeah,
it's a fun place.
I love that area, especially because they have sushi train.
Oh, yes.
Now, and actually, that restaurant is ideal for COVID because they could easily split it up between 6 to 10 feet.
Are we talking the sushi train by
Well, it's by the Hyatt.
Yeah, I think it closed.
Did it really?
I think it did last year.
Oh, that's sad. And plus, I don't know if it's a great idea to have like a COVID train going around now that I'm thinking about it. It's like,
it's funny. They have similar places here. Like they have some where it's going by you, but then they also have like a conveyor belt that brings it out. But maybe they'll have it updated or something. But yeah, I lived 1 block away from that hotel, so.
Oh, yeah, and Ichiban, which is also in that area, has been shut down for years, which is sad. But I love sushi and I love Japanese food, so that's terrible. But I did actually like the hotel, and I thought the only thing I didn't like was the loading.
Yeah, that was a little tough this year. We really did have to fight for space, but this year we've got our own dedicated load-in, load-out zone specifically for arcade. So anybody who brings their own cabinet, it will be just us there. We won't have to fight for space. We won't have to do that. So hopefully things will go a lot smoother this year. We've made some changes into the check-in and check-out process. And we want to make it easy for you to get in, bring your game, and get out. So
that's good. So COVID sushi train sounds great. That's what somebody said in the chat.
COVID dies on sushi, so it's okay.
Yeah. So one of our listeners says, Grinwing20 says, I remember the first 2D con at the Thunderbird.
Oh yes, the Thunderbird. That was actually just before I joined up on staff.
Now we should talk a little bit about the Thunderbird just briefly, because it was this little hotel on the corner of Cedar and 494. It's not there anymore. It's called something else.
No, it's completely gone. I don't even know if there's something in its place. I thought they tore it down completely.
But it had been there since the 60s.
Yep.
It was like a really, really cool artifact from the 60s, actually, and I'm sad that it's gone.
Yeah, I seen pictures. I've never had the chance to go myself,
but it's cool that they got to go there.
Yeah, it's super cool.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of the stuff, a lot of the pictures and stuff made it look just so awesome.
Yeah.
I don't think it would work for our purposes now. If they hadn't closed, because in 2019 we were nearing 2,000 attendees for 2D Con.
Sure.
And the Thunderbird couldn't hold
one of the fastest growing conventions actually in the country. 2D Con just doubled its attendance every year, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, we're just it's so great. I mean, it's a great cause. We donate thousands of dollars to charities every year. We get to come together with our friends, play games, just hang out, have a great weekend, and what's not to love about it? I mean, you go once and you're hooked. I went as a guest, and then I turned around the next year and said, hey, I'm running your arcade now. And they said, hey, that's great. And, it's been history. So
here's a fun story about music. I hate that we can't play music on the show, but we're trying to not get flagged by anybody anymore. So the last 2D Con I was at, 2019, they had a giant karaoke room.
Yeah,
and there was like a couple hundred people in there for a while, and so you can imagine, like, it's hard enough being at a small bar trying to get your name in on a karaoke song, but it was really fun to see the different talents that would come up there, and people that were just like, for the first time trying to sing a song or whatever, right, which can be excruciating for some people, but I enjoyed it. But one thing that I found interesting.
What's your go-to song?
My go-to song?
Yeah.
Oh, it's
I derailed you. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. I often pick like a Dean Martin song. I used to do Elvis all the time. She's a devil in disguise. That used to be one of my songs. But my main warm-up song is Your Song by Elton John.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Which I like to sing the Moulin Rouge version, but my range is not that great anymore, and I can't hit the high notes, so I pretty much do Elton's version now. But anyway, I was at this thing, and I wanted to say, have you guys watched Blacklist?
I have not. I hear it's amazing and good.
Yeah, so Blacklist.
Robert California from The Office on it.
Yeah, or it's not just not Robert California, but I mean, he was in 16 Candles.
So many. Yes, of course.
Mr. Spader.
Yeah, we played clips tonight. So anyway, Blacklist had a song called "Human" by Rag and Bone Man. I don't know if you've heard it, but look it up if you haven't heard it. It's a fantastic song. It's a really, really great song. And I heard a guy do that at 2D Con after I'd seen it on the show. And I'm like, I know this song, but I've never heard anybody ask for it at karaoke, let alone a convention. The guy just nailed it. He was so good. And when he came by, I'm like, I'm sorry, can you just tell me who that was by? Because I don't know who it was. And he told me, Rag and Bone Man. And I had no idea. I'm like, I said, you did a great job. And he just kept walking. But, one of the things is that convention gives a lot of money to mental health charities.
Yep. And another big one, Able Gamers. We're really big into helping people who can't necessarily play games.
Oh, that's cool. That's very cool.
Yeah.
So, and it's and then we didn't talk about all the different types of games, but you have rhythm games. You have which drowned out the classic arcade for the most part with the sound. You have the classic arcade games. But there's like a variety of like Dance Revolution and all these Japanese games, Candy Cabs and classic arcade. It was a really good variety.
Yep. We try to have something for everybody there.
Yeah.
Regardless of what you like, we want it to be in our arcade.
Yep. Mark, if you were going to come up, what game would you be looking to play?
Well, I think that I'm with the other crowd here. I would like to play Exterminator at Starcade. We're going to have an Exterminator contest, I think.
Exterminator was at 2D Con.
It was, yes.
And I did play it.
It was great.
And I think Mr. Peabody was there with me. No, we were at that was at a party, but that game sucks. It's a terrible game.
It's not great. It's not.
And you know what? It's funny that people bring it up on the show, and it has this sort of repeated nauseum. I don't know. It's a running gag on the show, but I mean, even Warren, who freaking wrote the game, is like, no, that's not a good game. And he was on the show.
Yeah, I think I would look if there's a Super Pac-Man. That's my favorite arcade game.
Yep.
So I would probably look for something like that. Yeah, I don't know. I've been enjoying the Space Zap. I like that.
Yeah, that's kind of a fun game. So you have your computer space now.
Right. Yeah.
Is it working?
I mean, I cleaned off the PCBs and I deoxided the edge connectors. The monitor, though, in the back is like in 3 different pieces. The chassis has been like, it looks like somebody went like this onto the back of the chassis. So
yeah,
it's very sad. There's pictures.
And behind you have not only Space Zap, but you have a Mega Race and what else?
Satan's Hollow.
Those are great cabarets. Yeah.
Yeah, there's also a Tron cabaret outside and a not Fix It Felix. It's the other one. Frisky Tom.
Something. So
Frisky Tom, right.
but these are Ballet Midway cabinets.
Right.
So they're actually they were sold as mini mites, I think. Wasn't that right?
Is that right? Something like that.
And so the Tron is a similar form factor.
Yeah, it's very similar to the Satan's Hollow kind of.
Yeah, you could stick that in there.
That's what she said. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I think. I need to clear out some room in the living room. Like right now, we have like a path to where we can play darts. Will there be darts, Robert? Let me just check in on that at 2D Con. Any dart boards?
I don't know. You're the first person to ever ask for darts at 2D Con. So
that'd be kind of fun, though. I think
we could probably make it happen.
We have one dart board. I've actually gotten really good at aiming, which I think is now key to the winning of the game. So
see,
very happy.
The problem though is not the people who are good at darts at 2D Con.
Bad.
Yeah, we don't want to put holes in the wall at the hotel. Right. That might be a little bit dangerous. So
Well, mine I recommend the plastic darts for the plastic dart board. Yeah, that's good stuff. All right, just something to think about. You
All
never
right.
know.
I love it.
Branching out.
Well, if somebody were to sign up with a bring your own cabinet with a dart machine and some darts they wouldn't mind throwing away, we could probably get them a VIG badge for the weekend for something like that.
Oh, and nobody asked, but my go-to song at karaoke is "Hooked on a Feeling" by Blue Suede.
That's great. We should be asking that. Robert, what's your go-to?
Mine is "Where Did You Sleep Last Night," covered by Nirvana.
Oh
I like it. Chatters, tell us what you like to sing when you go to karaoke or when you're singing in the shower, because you can't help but everybody loves music, especially people that listen to the show, I think. So, but yeah, it's so Jobber J says his go-to song is "Ghetto" by
Jabba J's
Elvis.
Chris Graham, by the way.
That's Chris? That's Trash Can Chris?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. What do we call that? Dumpster fire?
Dumpster fire. Is that real? Come on.
It is.
I gotta go look that up.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And he calls it that because it's a mismatch of pieces that he got to build this, sort of virtual pin that,
I want to see somebody take a regular pin, like a gutted pinball, like physical pinball, and just put spare parts from all sorts of different games into the one.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
See how the scoring looks.
Play field that's just like mashed together from like 4 old play fields.
Right. Yeah. Like the little subway underneath, so you can get your ball stuck under there permanently. It'd be awesome. Yeah.
That's what she said.
Maybe it falls down onto the floor and you can put it back in a hole in the back. And...
Say hi to your mom for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so chatters, does anyone else have any questions for Mr. Robert Thell about what might be happening in August? And Robert, do you have anything else on your list that you need to cover for this episode?
I think, gosh, I got so much up on my screen now.
Coming up in 2022.
2022. Oh gosh, we don't even want to start. We don't start thinking about 2022 till 2021 is over, like the day after.
Yeah, no, I know that you guys hold a post-mortem, right? Is that typical? Yeah.
Yep, that was how I got my job. I walked into the post-mortem and said, I didn't like your arcade. I can do it better. And they told me, okay. So that's how I got my job. What's the best part of 2D Con? Well, I'm kind of biased. The arcade was, for me, the best part of 2D Con. There's not really words to describe it because we don't have arcades of that size in the U.S. We don't, a place has got to be really special to walk in and just make everybody who walks in just their jaw hit the ground, and that's what happened. I mean, I sat by the door for a good hour and just watch people come in and their eyes get size of dinner plates and just run to a game that they wanted to play and just go. And it's a great feeling to be able to provide that for people. So that's my best part. Second best is the karaoke. It's a party. So we have a big stage, and it's the same stage that the bands go up and play. And it's Joe. That's Joe's brainchild. Joe Opsel. He came up with that, and it's the sleeper hit of the con. You go there and you're hooked. So between those are my favorite.
Well, and I will tell you also, if you haven't been to this convention before and you're in the surrounding area, there's obviously the arcade, but there's a huge console gaming section with all kinds of different consoles. So everything from the
RCA
NES.
Studio 2, is that there? What?
I don't think so.
I didn't see one of those.
The Studio 4 was there, though.
Oh, that's cool. But yeah, everything from Atari 2600 on up to modern consoles. There's a couple of Pong, whatever, but there's tournaments. There's Tetris tournaments.
We've got a tabletop section where you can go in and check out your games. We have local creators come and show off their games at 2DCon. We call it Indie Island. So if you want to see what people in the Minneapolis area are up to creating games, we've had games that we had this year that went on to get nominated for awards in 2020 that were shown off at 2DCon. We have Midwest Speed Fest, which is the whole weekend long is a group of guys who get together and do speed running for charity.
Mm-hmm.
Special guest this year. I'm not 100% certain on our special guest this year, just because of COVID and being able to get people. People are still leery about signing on to things. So I don't think we have anything huge in the works this year, but that isn't to say that we won't going forward. It's just this is a year we're kind of going back to the basics and making sure we've got the core parts of the con that everybody loves.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yep, we did have a VR section. You're Grinwing. You're absolutely correct. We had a VR section with Oculus Rift and Vives. Unfortunately, our vendor shut down the VR section, and that's kind of a COVID risk. So we won't be doing the VR this year, but that just means there's more room for arcade cabinets.
Sweet.
I think they could do something where it's VR, but you have to hold your breath. You can get some oxygen tanks off to the side so that somebody can hold their breath for about 15 minutes. And then, have you ever done that? It's very weird.
Yeah. Deep sea diver.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, well, we don't have too many more questions from the chatters. I think we're ready to wind up this thing that we call. Hey guys, thanks for sticking with me with some technical difficulties. Guess what? We're going to talk about next week's guest.
Oh, who's that?
So we're literally going to have a show next week on May 6th.
Yeah, no break.
No break. Last year when COVID hit, I declared we were going to do a show every week. That got to be very difficult.
But we were never out of town somehow.
Yeah,
we were always at home.
We did a pretty good job, but it got to be wearing. I think 2 weeks is better in most cases, right?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely am at the point where I'm like, what the hell, I'll do it.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It's a lot more fun than doing nothing.
Sure. I mean, well.
So yeah. I want to share with everybody. First of all, tomorrow I'm going to go pick up my fire truck and my Gorf machine. And I discovered today in my office that I had a pole position and a Gorf manual that I was going to sell on eBay because I don't have either one of those games. And now, as of tomorrow, I will have both of those games because a couple weeks ago I got the pole position and I'm picking up a Gorf tomorrow. So that'll be fun. But for all of our listeners, next week we have Ed Log from Atari.
Yeah.
Ed Log from Atari will be on, and for those of you that don't know, he did a few games that you might be familiar with. Asteroids, Gauntlet.
Yeah.
He worked on Atari Football.
Video pinball.
Ooh.
He worked on Video Pinball. Centipede, Millipede.
Super Breakout.
Super Breakout. Yep. Rush 2049.
Rush, yeah.
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 And he actually also did a VCS game. Do you guys remember Othello?
Oh, yeah.
He did Othello. He also did a few N64 ports of Rush 2049 and some other games. He was the lead on those games. He worked for EA for a little while.
18 months.
Yeah.
Did not release a game, but still kind of cool.
Yeah, and actually that'd be kind of interesting because he volunteered that information. I want to ask him about that on the show because I think it'd be really interesting to find out why. They were probably like, "Oh, it's Ed Log. We got to have him on." And they're like, "Well, what do we have him do?"
Yeah, bring him here, right?
Yeah, and
I'll tell him the stories about this girl I know who worked at EA probably around the same time. Wait, is this the one in Austin or is EA everywhere?
Well, I'm sure they have more than one.
That's too bad.
But so you know, a girl in Austin.
She worked for EA, for a couple of years, and her stories were pretty good. Pretty good stories.
But Ed Log is somebody from Atari that we've wanted on for a long time, and obviously I'm a big Atari nerd, and we've had a number of Atari guests on in the past, including Owen Rubin, Ed Rotberg, Nolan Bushnell, Howard Scott Warshaw, We tried to get Donna Bailey on, but she politely declined, as did Dave Thurer. If you want to read a really great interview on Dave Thurer, he did Tempest and Missile Command and a bunch of other games. Missile Command right behind me, Tempest is over here. But those he did a thing with Tony Temple, and he wrote a book, and I just got mine like a month ago. It covers all of Missile Command. It's a great book. But anyway, Ed Log will be on next week, so we invite you to a very special event, same time, same bat channel. We'll be on Twitch. We've already talked to him. We've lined up the date. Everything's good to go. So, Robert, you'll have to be in the chat next week.
I will be here with bells on.
And I'm sorry that Brian Armitage was not here, Mr. Brian McLeod. It turns out that he had to help somebody survive.
It was a brain replacement, I think he was doing.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, I am called a bonehead once in a while, so I guess that could qualify as orthopedic surgery.
Oh my God.
I think we'll let it slide just this once. Brian's done so much for us at 2DCon that it wouldn't be the same convention without him. So I'll talk to him next time I see him.
Oh, he'll definitely be mentioning. He'll basically go through everything he was going to say today next week at some point. I'm promising.
Someone's joking. Brian doesn't say much anyway. Yeah, right.
What?
Put a sock in that guy's mouth. Hey, Mark, remember when we used to do the show, just you and I?
I know, right? That was like a whole season. That was when we called Dan Reed.
Like every episode.
There was a whole segment where we called Dan Reed.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
He eventually answered when we had somebody cool on. I forget who that was.
Oh, yeah, but he was really rude. He's like, hello, goodbye,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, better than nothing.
Well, I don't know. Did you get your show notes?
Show notes are up.
We're going to have to...
They've been adjusted for 2 people.
All right. Wow, look at that. You're ahead of us. Thanks for listening in on the Double R's. This has been the Arcade Radio.
Check out our website, RcadeRadio.com. That's RCADE Radio.com for all of our social media and swag links.
You know what? You can call and leave comments on the game line. That's 612-548-GAME, GAME, or 4263 if you don't know how to spell.
Nice. If you are enjoying the show, please pick up some Arcade Radio swag at teespring.com/arcaderadio, or consider supporting our Patreon campaign over at patreon.com/arcaderadio. There's multiple tiers. They start at just $3 a month, and any bit helps us with the costs of running the refrigerator in Adam's kitchen.
Now, I will say that if you have a Prime membership and you're listening on Twitch, feel free to subscribe for free to the channel. That'll allow us to do things like reach out to you when we have special shows, and it also gives a little money to the show. If you're not interested in doing that, just hit follow and keep following us. We appreciate it either way, right, Mark?
Yeah, we don't mind anybody that's just hanging out with us. That's cool. That's cool, man. That's cool.
I think the next one's you.
Is it? Okay, if you like what you're hearing, consider dropping a 5-star rating.
5?
Not a 4-star. Yes, please. Click all the stars. On Anchor, iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you consume our podcast.
That's right. So that's going to be it for tonight's show from the Arcade Radio team. We hope you had a great time, and we will see you next week. All right, Robert, stay with us.
Say goodbye to you.
think so.
Sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
Stepped on the wrong one.
We so rarely go to the end of the show with a song, you know. What is the award for? Best Dad Bod.